Behind me is my 1997 Toyota MR2. Stay tuned to find out 5 reasons why I bought the car. Alright, for those who don't know, about a couple weeks ago, I went to Sydney to purchase a 1997 Toyota Bathurst Edition. So after many months of searching for a car, this is the car that I finally ended up getting, and there are a number of reasons for why I chose this car. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing those reasons with you. So let's get on to reason number 1. So for those who don't know, I have been driving a Toyota Camry for around 2 years now. It's got an automatic transmission and I'm getting pretty bored of it. You know, just putting your foot down and then the car just goes. I wanted something to feel more connected with me, the driver. You know, and after seeing many videos from like people like Adam LZ, all owning manual cars, I came to the conclusion that I must have one of those. I need to get a car with a manual transmission. So the Toyota MR2 that I currently have has a 5-speed manual gearbox. I think it's like the E153 transmission, I'm not too sure, but it's a pretty good tranny. It's not as good as the turbo one. I haven't got the turbo version of the MR2, but there's no problems with it. The shifting is very smooth and I'm very happy with it. Now, of course, there were some downsides to getting a car with a manual transmission. Firstly is that I actually don't have my manual license. So in Victoria, in Australia, you must have done your test in a manual car if you want a manual license, and unfortunately I did my license in an automatic car, so I did it actually in my Camry. So that's something I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to retake my test, which is a bit of a pain in the ass because it's like a 1-month wait when you do book it, but it's not that big of an issue. I've also haven't driven many manual cars. This will be the one that I'm learning in. I have driven my friends around, so Will has taught me. He comes over every now and then and I ask him if I can drive his car and he's like, yeah, all right. So he's given me a couple lessons in that and I've pretty much got the hang of it. I'd say I'm at a very comfortable level driving this car, have no problems or issues at all. So yeah, moving on to reason number 2. So again, this is another big selling point to this car. It's rear-wheel drive. And for those who don't know what that means, pretty much with a rear-wheel drive cars, you can do things like with rear-wheel drive, you also get like better handling, which can be kind of debatable nowadays because of the Civic Type R. But having a rear-wheel drive car just allows you to do more things in your car and have more fun with it. It's also a bit more dangerous, but especially when your car doesn't have ABS or electronic stability control. This car doesn't have it. But it was definitely a huge reason into why I got this car. So later down the line, I do plan to be taking it to a track and maybe doing some drifting in it. I have no idea what the future beholds, but really keen to do some stuff and really utilize that rear-wheel drive drivetrain. All right, so reason number 3. I mean, look at her. She looks amazing. Alright, so this is a very good looking car. You know, I've got everything from pop-up headlights, sleek looking design. You know, it's a 2-door coupe, so it looks very sporty. It's even got like kind of daytime running lights, if you want to call them that. The car is also super low to the ground. Just looks so good. On the way down from Sydney going back to Melbourne, we actually got a lot of looks. So while Will was driving, you know, we got people like a guy on a motorbike, had a look at the car, looked back again and then nodded, which was pretty crazy. When we stopped for a break after the 9-hour trip, this guy came over and was like, nice car. So it is a really good looking car. Some people even call it a poor man's Ferrari, not only because it handles like a Ferrari, because it also looks like one. Now obviously looks are very to do much with people's opinions, so some people obviously not going to like the look of it. I know the majority of my mates really like it. Some people don't like the pop-up headlights, but how can you not like a car with pop-up headlights, honestly? Like, fucking check this out. How can you not like that? So for those who haven't seen, a lot of people have been putting V6 engines into this car. So you can actually chuck V6s in here. You can actually put the Toyota Camry's engine inside the MR2, no problem, because it will fit. There's actually a heap of room in the back where the engine sits. So the engine's not in the front, it's actually in the back for those who don't know. And you can put anything from any front wheel drive V6 engine in there, or even things like a Honda K20, which a lot of people do for like drag races and all that kind of stuff. If I just put my Toyota Camry's engine in there, the car would be doing 0 to 60 or 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in around 5 seconds. So you can get these cars down to extremely quick times, and I'm sure they would sound amazing with those V6 engines in there. So there's definitely a lot of modding potential to be done for this car. There's a lot of support, a lot of things on the forums to help you out. It's a very good starter car, I reckon. It is legal on your Ps. It just has so much potential. Okay, so moving on to the last point, number 5. If you're looking to buy one of these cars, you can actually pick them up for very cheap. You know, this is including the turbo one too. I think the turbo ones are like a couple grand more expensive than the NA ones like the one I've got. They're very hard to find though, that's the problem. So you can get these cars, I got mine for around like 8 grand, which is not too bad considering the kind of car it is, and that it's rear-wheel drive. You know, it's got an engine in the back of the car and pop-up headlights, obviously. For a car like this, that's very cheap. You know, they are getting old, but apparently they may go up in value because they're so sought after. You know, to actually find a clean example like this, you know, that's barely been modified or touched, it took a lot of searching, took a couple months of looking. Like in the whole of Australia, I think there are around 10 or 15 to be sold, which is very small for the amount of people that are living here. Even though Australia is a low populated country, I'd say. But yeah, it's very hard to find Toyota MR2s. Especially ones in the higher years, like mine's 1997, which I try to like, you know, veer away from like the earlier ones because they do have things like snap oversteer. And their engines tend to blow up. Just an FYI for those who want to take their early model Toyota MR2s down to a track. So yeah, if you do find one of these cars and you want to buy one, I'm pretty sure there are a lot more coming in America. But if you do want to find one of these cars in Australia, definitely buy one as soon as you can, because they could probably go up in value and they're an amazing car. And they're extremely hard to find. So yeah, the Toyota MR2 is a fantastic car if you want to get something on your Ps. You know, there are plenty of reasons for why I bought it, and I'm sure you'll come up with plenty of reasons for why you can possibly have one. I'd like to tell all my Camry subscribers that I will not be selling my Camry for now. I don't know if I will be selling it in the future, but right now I can afford to keep it, so I will try to keep it. You know, I don't want to sell it. Although having 2 cars is a hassle because it's like $800 for rego every year for both cars. So that adds up to $1,600. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll catch you guys in the next one.